few people ask me how we do our efficiency rating on Huddle, and this is actually something I think that Huddle Assist is going to do next year, I believe, from what they've told us. We're not necessarily a client, but we've looked into it. But it looks like they're going to have some sort of efficiency rating. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. So for us, what we look at is we grade every play, and it's pretty easy because it's just going off a gain loss. On first down, and this is controversial, most teams say, for defense that you don't want to give up 4 yards. I'm fine with giving up 4 yards on first down, and here is why. So don't turn it off. Why I'm fine with it, okay? The best defense in Division I last year, Ohio State, in terms of yards per play, gave up 4.13 yards per play, all right? The worst offense, not to, call them out, gave up or averaged 4.02 yards per play. Now, the best offense, Oklahoma, averaged 7.96 yards per play. So I am fine on an average to give up 4 yards on first down. Do I want that? No. But I'm fine with it because every team in Division I achieved that on an average, okay? The worst offense in the nation in Division I achieved that on an average. So I'm fine with giving up an average. Again, if you're giving up 4 yards every time, that's probably not good. But I'll give up 8 one and then hopefully get a 0 yard pass the next, because it is about stringing punts. The more punts you get, the better you are on defense. So that's one thing that I'll look at. Now, it's by division, so let me scroll down here to Division III. The best offense in the nation, 8 yards a play. All right, there was offenses that were under 4, but there's 256 teams, I think, 245 teams in this stat. About 220 of them averaged over 4 yards a play. So I think it is all relative to who you're playing. So if you're playing a team that doesn't average 4 yards a play, well, then maybe your efficiency changes for that. And then on the flip side, defense, go to total defense. There are some defenses in Division III that, Wheaton, they were an awesome defense. All right, shout out to my guy, Coach Scott up there, the new head coach. They, and the defensive staff, all right, you guys do a great job. They average under, 3.5 yards. So maybe their standard is different. And maybe everybody else's standard, if you're giving up 7 yards a play, maybe you're fine with giving up 5 yards on first down. So maybe every efficiency is different for everybody. But, this is how we have done it, just because we've been hovering around that 4 point something yards per play given up on defense, which obviously we want to improve upon that, but we don't feel like that is necessarily terrible as well. But this is an all-play list of every game since 2015. So this is Franklin College. We played them 5 times since then. So like I was saying the other day, we feel that 60% efficiency on defense gives you a pretty good chance to win that football game. Anything in the 50s, you're going to need to make some plays here and there, not give up explosive plays. And then along with this is obviously just the defensive rating. Your offense, you can do the same thing. So if your offense is a 60% efficient and your defense is 60% efficient, I'm sure you're winning that game, all right? I bet 9 out of 10 times if you go back and your offense was 60 and your defense was 60, you won that football game. If your offense is 50 and your defense is 50, all right, that's a toss-up. That should be a close game. At most, I would think a 3-score game. If your defense is 20% efficient and your offense is 90% efficient, I don't know. It's a shootout. But at the end of the day, I think if both units strive for that 60% efficiency, I think good things will happen. So we'll judge concepts, we'll judge players based off of that. And I think the game of football is crazy because if your player graded out at a 60%, you'd be benching him. And as a coordinator, your defense, I'm a defensive coordinator. I've played these guys 5 times. I'm grading out at a 55%. efficient in terms of all my players doing the right thing in a game. And against these guys, it's in the last 5 years, it's came down to a one possession, game for us. One time it broke our way, a few other times it hasn't, but, so that's what we'll go through. Obviously, when you're efficient, 0.1 yards a play, giving up a total of 36 yards in 5 years, I think is, pretty cool. But when you're not efficient, you give up 12.7 yards on average, 2,595 yards. So, we'll look at that for an off-season study. We'll look at it as a, self-evaluation during the season, and then we'll look at it at concepts. What was our, base coverage? What was that efficiency? What was our front efficiency? 4 down, 3 down. What was our movement efficiency? So we'll look at a bunch of different things, but I think that's unique. And I haven't really talked about the rating yet, so let's get into that. So an efficiency rating for us is on first down, we're going to allow the team to get 4 yards. Again, we went into that whole explanation of why I'll allow them to get 4 yards. On second down, it is the team needs to pick up half the yards to get a first down. So if it was 1st and 10 and they picked up 5 yards, all right, on second and 10 and they picked up 5 yards, that is efficient for the offense. So everything here you're seeing is the Y is efficient for the defense. And then on third down and fourth down, they're picking up the first down. It's pretty easy. So that's a simple way. It's easy because in huddle, you can go by first down. If you don't have the huddle assist, you can go by first down. You can sort by all gain loss and just plug in, hey, okay, -5 to 4 yards are all efficient for your defense. Anything more than that is no. And we just yes, no. And then we're able to create statistics like this. And you can see on defense, we've been in that 58 to 60% range. We're 5-0 against this team. We're 71% efficient. That makes sense. I would think if you looked at our offense, they're going to be similar, to that. So I think the game of football is about efficiency. Obviously explosion plays, play a factor into that. You could be 45% efficient, but you have 6 explosion plays that go for touchdown that win you the game. But, obviously, the goal on offense is to pick up first downs and get into the end zone. The goal on defense is to put stops together and make teams punt. And I think a part of that is the efficiency of what you're doing. So we look at that quite a bit. And again, with the defensive player targeted that I talked about the other day, we are going to look at, hey, when that kid was targeted, was he efficient or was he not efficient? Because there's certain situations that on third and 10, you'll give up 8 yards. The team is punting. Now that's something that you can go back. If they went for it on fourth down and got it, you could say on third down they weren't efficient because they were in 4-down territory. So if you have any questions about efficiency ratings, let me know. And again, huddle's nice. Boom. Okay, efficient. Let's go back and see what, I like to go back and, in 5 years, now this team's going to have a third different offensive coordinator next year, so maybe it's not as applicable, but go back and see what they beat you on, because that's probably things that they're going to try to exploit. They're not necessarily going to run the same plays that you've been good against, right? They're going to run the plays that's been efficient for you, and maybe they're doing the same thing, going back and they're looking at what's been good against your defense, and they're going to try to exploit you.